Hello guys, and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3 with our Austria Hungary playthrough. As you may know, we are at war with Italy. And the High Command, who I think is me, by the way, has apparently decided to assign us, even though I would definitely disagree with this, bombarding Italy in the middle of the night. And so I made my happy way from about here to over here. And just now, I found a bunch of enemy ships at my objective. I assigned the land air to help me bombard, but it's nighttime and I guess the land air doesn't take off at this time. However, this is where the airships can come in handy because they do take off at this time. So we know there are some destroyers down here, for example, moving southwest. However, we also now see these ships, so I've immediately ordered a flotilla attack because fuck that shit. I'm at least happy to see that the airships are getting some use, but oh dear god. These nighttime battles usually end up being a graveyard of sorts. And so here we go. I've turned around. We're gonna just bring it up that way. We can fire, it looks like, at the bombardment target. That's the only thing we're here for, is that bombardment target. We know there are destroyers in front of us, which is terrifying. It's absolutely freaking stinking terrifying. I do have that order to engage. It seems more capable of engaging than we are right now. And having all these enemy ships around me, of some of which I'm certain are destroyers, is not very encouraging. So I'm going to turn this happy little group around. The other guys have their flotilla orders to attack. Oh my god. That's moving way too fast to be a battleship. Oh, but hey. Our DD Boa is ending up fucked up there. They seem to have shifted all up north there. Oh, wow. DD Tatara hit by torpedo. Our destroyers up there are getting absolutely fucked. We're opening fire on what we can see. Yeah, we just lost a destroyer. This is already more deadly for us than what we had before. We're losing like 3 destroyers instantaneously. And there are just so many fucking clearly destroyers here that are sailing up on us and have already hit our lead ship with a torpedo, a dud torpedo. Yeah, that was fast. These sorts of battles never go well. No, they never go well. Let's see if we can detach this, just send her home, and then just keep going for now. Because we need to sink that bombardment target first and foremost. That's kind of like the main deal here. Sinking some destroyers isn't really going to be all that great for us. So if we could sink that bombardment target, then taking a little shot of damage isn't really going to be the worst thing. But for that, we're going to need to pass directly by this fucking thing. I'm traveling as fast as I feasibly can as well. We've dealt heavy damage to it and it's on fire, which is a good sign when you're trying. Okay, well, good news is we've destroyed it. Here's the bad news. We're running directly into their fleet. Okay, that's great. That's really, really great with our heavy cruisers. Yeah, that's amazing. So I have 2 choices here. I either hard turn or just try to sail right through. I think I'm gonna, oh shit, if I sail right through, we're all gonna have to sail right through. Oh, fuck. Okay, boys, turn together and turn around. That's the, oh, we're not turning fast enough. Ooh, we're not turning nearly fast enough. This heavy cruiser, the Minerva, is getting fucked. The Schwarzburg was hit by a torpedo. Yeah, this is why I would never do this. Enemy BC hit by torpedo. I'm not sure I believe that that's a BC or that I even care. A lot of enemy ships are being hit by torpedoes. Our cruisers are turning around. There's an unidentified ship here. CL Pola hit by torpedo. Oh my god. Enemy BC hit by torpedo. Enemy BC hit by torpedo. Oh god, like, we don't even have a squad max at this point. We're splitting up our squad at this point. This is ridiculous. We just need to get out of here at this point. We're shooting torpedoes into them. They're shooting torpedoes into us. We've accomplished our objectives. We've lost a couple destroyers. DD Cobra's sinking, unfortunately, yeah. We got even more torpedoes heading out at them, hitting enemies with torpedoes. Here's just the main thing, right? Here's the main thing. We just need to be able to sail away from here to safety. That's it. We just need to sail home. Let's say to over there. And that's what we need to be able to do. Without dying. We need to be able to do that without dying. We've already lost so many destroyers, quite frankly. There's not a whole lot I could do about that. So we need to just move at a speed that doesn't sink us while trying to get out. Any other ships that are still back there are staying back there. Again, we've accomplished our objective, and we've gotten a lot of torps off, so hopefully, you know, considering a lot of them stop moving, they're probably dead in the water. And hopefully this ends up being positive. This is not going to be nearly as positive as that last battle really was, but hopefully we could just sail the fuck out of here, objective complete, before the enemy air starts running when the sun comes up, because that would be fucking awful. Not so good news. Our heavy cruiser that was returning back to port over here has run into some enemy ships. It has a destroyer by it as well, but I don't have much of a choice other than to try to put my ships in the way, essentially. I kind of have to put my ships in the way there. He's running a different direction now. Hopefully he doesn't just die from flotation damage. We might want to readjust to head up to Kataro at this point, because we're moving very slowly. We know they're there. We know they're up there. And all we can... Oh, great. And now the Fido struck a fucking mine. Like I said, I would never have chosen to do this. This was a terrible idea. I don't know why I was assigned this. But okay. One of my heavy cruisers is attacking a submarine, the Letha. Why? You have ASW? Why doesn't a destroyer do it? Why is a heavy cruiser attacking a submarine? I have no idea, but the sun's coming up. Thankfully, we're far enough away, but you know, this is where the air's starting to fly. The planes are heading out. Let's hope we can just trudge it back to base. Okay, the scenario's over. We lost 6 destroyers this time. Thankfully, only destroyers. We had nothing in the way of aircraft losses. They did lose some, though. They lost 7 destroyers, a corvette of some kind, that land target, and a battleship. That wasn't a battle cruiser we hit. We sank a fucking battleship. So, while losing 6 destroyers, a whole division's worth, is unfortunate. The fact that we sank 7 of theirs, while having kind of equal destroyer forces overall, and sank one of their battleships while having more battleships overall, plus we accomplished our objective, and came out with 3 times the amount of victory points. We also destroyed our bombardment target, though that really wasn't a lion's share of the points the battleship was. This became an actually great victory for us, a major victory, 2 prestige gained, similar VP gains to last time, actually better than last time, despite that not feeling as well. Interrogation of enemy prisoners, which I did not rescue any, by the way. Insights of their shipboard aircraft operation technology. Well, that's cool. Stealing some tech from Italy, from our non-existent prisoners. Effective camouflage schemes, fleet tactics, reduce enemy sighting range and hit chance. That's good. Improved model of our naval patrol aircraft has been developed. Same range and speed. It has better bomb loads by the looks of it, just generally. Okay. Forces are fighting valiantly in Sardinia. Seems like we're winning. Enemy subs sank our corvette. That's the first time one of them have been sunk. A destroyer sank an enemy submarine. We're sinking a lot of their submarines. We're sinking so many of their submarines. Sadly, we don't have our submarines. Corvette sank by a mine, and the enemy gains 280 VP for blockading us. Okay, now they're blockading us. We were just blockading them, but now they're blockading us. But now Great Britain has joined the war against Italy. So we're blockaded. The blockade is shifted. However, Great Britain joining the war means they're now here to help us. They already have some forces here. 14 destroyers, 2 heavy cruisers, a battleship. They should probably end up moving even more soon. So even though the odds have kind of gone against us a little bit there, it's about to get better. Not to mention only 2 more turns until we get all those submarines coming out. It seems to me that everything they sank destroyer-wise were the old destroyers, so I'm not too concerned about that. We'll probably just move ship to another division. First destroyer can take you. Move ship to another division. Second destroyer can take you, and then this one's just kind of empty for right now, but I guess that's fine. Let's just get rid of that. Just have them reinforce each other's divisions. We haven't lost any of our bigger ships at all, despite some unlucky torps and whatnot. Our better battleships aren't even out and able to do anything. We're burning through money on all these repairs, not to mention the construction as well that's happening. We might need to end up slowing down some construction of these Pythons, for example. I want to get my other battleships out as quick as possible, though. Okay, we have another coastal bombardment mission. We have, like, less ships available than ever to do anything with here. Heavy cruisers, light cruisers, things are so injured now. But we do also have 3 of our battleships, our older ones, clearly, because the newer ones are refitting. Which means they might have battleships as well. They had battleships in that last one when we didn't have any. So, having battleships now is good, I guess. These are more brawlers at this point. They're very armored, but their range is very low. Although they don't have a lot of torpedo defenses either because they're very old. So this is going to make for an interesting fight. We don't have a lot of mines available either, but it's just attack objective again, even though you didn't really do that last time. Once again, same starting position, middle of the night, and this time, look where the fuck it is. Oh my god, we're gonna run into minefields, we're gonna run into all kinds of shit. This is such a stupid idea. So on our way down to the objective, we just ran into what I assume is the entire enemy fleet, so I'm giving sudden orders to just turn together, turn all, and turn away. I have minimal control given that this is the middle of the night, but I gave a flotilla attack order. Apparently we hit an enemy BC with torpedoes. Our destroyers are getting chewed up. We've been hit by a torpedo on our main heavy cruiser. A destroyer, one of ours, is already sinking. If we hit a battle cruiser, that's great. Those are over 40,000 tons. If we hit a battleship, that's great, because I mean, that's got to be big, right? We sank one battleship and made the entire battle worth it, whether we accomplished our goal or not. Unfortunately, our main little ship here, our main cruiser, where'd you go here? You have taken pretty big damage, so I'm going to tell you to detach and go home. I don't think home is that way, but whatever you think is home, you go ahead and do that. So this one cruiser right here is like my main thing that I have control over. That's fucking insane. Well, we're just putting our destroyers in between us and them. We've lost another destroyer. We have more torpedoes in the water headed out towards them. It looks like we've been getting some hits, but not sure I really trust that. But we have to keep going. As things stand, we have to keep going. They're very insistent on getting in my way, so we're turning directly into some of their ships, which, yes, is going to get us torqued instantaneously. What a surprise. This ship needs to go home too now. Like, I don't even know if I can detach it. I don't even think that I can. Maybe I can. There, alright, she's going home, but do I even have a flagship at this point? I don't know. I don't even know that I have a flagship at this point. Oh no, she's just sinking. Okay, we've finally lost one of our heavy cruisers, which is sad. And I don't think I have a flagship until that sinks anyway. Unless these guys can come off of AI control now. Please tell me you guys are going this way. Okay, yes, you are. We have torpedoes out, but I'm not seeing any big damage. We're hitting something with torpedoes, though I don't know that it's anything really too amazing. They're chasing after us. I see an enemy CL that appears very injured. Let's take off the turn together for right now. I don't believe this is a CL. I believe this is something much larger. Let's put this turn together back on. Turn away from whatever that is. That is a BC. They legitimately have BCs here. I'm trying to get our destroyers to launch more torps in at that stuff. Like, if we can sink one BC, then we could lose 4 heavy cruisers, and this would be technically worth it. Enemy battleship hit by a torpedo. By something that's just in the mix of it over there, in the thick of it. Yeah, we have some destroyers that are gonna die. For sure. But they're just launching torpedoes in every direction. They're definitely dead. Oh, and now I'm out of sight somehow. What is my flagship? I don't have access. My flagship is just the thing that's sinking. So I don't really have very good control over this right now. I think I have control of my battleships. And apparently we hit oh my god! Apparently we hit an enemy battleship with a torpedo again. It's probably somewhere down here. But holy shit, this battlecruiser just took 2 torps. Yeah, just took 3 torps. Oh, it's dead, dude. Look at it. That one thing is worth like almost 2 of our battleships. So if that sinks, that's incredible. Whether we achieve our objective or not, that would be rather incredible. Dude, I'm tempted to turn around and just go for that thing. Make sure it sinks. That's a very valuable... Their battlecruisers are worth... They're over 40,000 tons, man. If we could sink this thing, for sure, that's worth way more than anything else we could do. And even if we lost more heavy cruisers, that alone would be worth it. Let's go after it. Kind of sail up behind it. Our battleships here are kind of like brawlers. Okay, it just blew up. It had a flash fire and blew up. Oh my god, but here's the rest of their fleet. Oh dear. Okay. Turn together. Everybody all at once. Also, turn that flotilla attack back on. I don't know why it's off to begin with. Holy mother of God. Okay. So we've turned together. We've avoided the worst of it. They're up here. They might find my heavy cruiser that's running away at this point. But we are on the move. And there's still that stupid objective all the way down here that I guess I could go for. I don't really know where anything else is. This is the wreckage of our old cruiser leader, unfortunately. Dude, this is a slaughter. These nighttime battles with Italy always end up being a slaughter. On both sides, to some extent. One of our destroyers struck a fucking mine. That's awesome. I feel like so many of our ships are already scrambled or gone. And we've been hit by a torpedo on our main battleship. Or on one of them in general. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. For sure, man. Battle division. I'll detach you, send you home to the nearest base. And that destroyer that hit you is now dead in the water, being bombarded by battleships. A destroyer is sinking. He's headed off somewhere. I'm not sure he's going the safest route. Oh boy. I don't know how this battle is really going to be worth it. Most of our ships are scrambled. The destroyers are out there in a massive fight. We've lost a cruiser, plenty of destroyers, but for now we're still winning this war dramatically, and we have sank an enemy battle cruiser at the very least. And something's here, and it's a destroyer, and we did not torp it despite a perfect opportunity to torp it. The Ludin is avoiding torpedoes and yet was hit by a torpedo. Why? Why'd you have to be hit by a torpedo? Unfortunately, hit by a torpedo, so we might have to slow down a little bit. A light cruiser was hit by a fucking torpedo. That was somewhere else. We tried to torp that destroyer and failed. Well, now that destroyer is pretty much dead in the water. Let's turn to the left. There's some big slow ship over here. Don't tell me that is a destroyer that's going that slow. Well, that destroyer just got torped. That's something. I don't know how we're gonna actually destroy this objective. This is fucking insanity. This is insanity. My ships are all over the fucking place. Like, can you go after my main division in like a corps, please? I don't know what you're doing all the way up there by yourself. You were just set to independent because of the daytime, I guess. You need to get down here. You need to get your ass down here. Look at this poor guy. Oh, we might be losing a battleship, which would be really unfortunate. Because I don't know how he's getting away. But I'm still just going for our objective. We sank a battle cruiser, so that's something. Well, we found our objective. It's like a generic bombardment target, and it's already almost destroyed. We also found an enemy corvette. That isn't really worth tough shit either. Or hot shit, I guess. We're just bombarding the fuck out of it. It can't really do anything. Already heavy damage, and it's destroyed. Cool. Now, ideally, what we want to do is get the fuck out of here. I'd love to go escort this guy back to base, but I'm just so concerned that we're going to run into other enemies in the process. But if I could go somehow escort him back to base, that would be fantastic. Unfortunately, we found the enemies, or more accurately, they kind of found us, because now it's daytime. Our battleship is still trying to limp out of there, and I'm going to try my best to protect it with these battleships, but they're just charging right at me. They have no fear. And, I mean, at this point, we could probably take control of these cruisers right here. I mean, not that they're doing anything bad. They're actually doing pretty well getting in front of those enemy battle cruisers for me. Let's put them up to max -2 and try to use ourselves as a shield for the ResHog here. Let's head directly down south as well, because we don't need to be in a proper engagement with a battle cruiser and a battleship. That's a little ridiculous. Not that these battleships, they can't even go very fast or far anyway. I've avoided picking up a lot of survivors from the wreckages of ships. They seem to be turning away from me. They seem to be kind of scared of engaging me. I know there's more of them over here. We had a destroyer that spotted them. And... Alright, keeping up with this guy if we're not fighting is a little much, though. And the ResHog is managing to get out. I mean, look at this poor guy. He's at 100% damage, dude. Literally 100%. Look at him. If anything ganged up on him, we would literally lose a fucking dreadnought. I don't think we've ever lost a dreadnought. And I surely wouldn't want to do it today. He's changed destination to over here. Which is okay, but also not okay. Because this is where the other group of those enemies are. He was honestly... He had a better trajectory before than what he has right now, quite frankly. This is not as good of a trajectory for him to have. So unfortunately, their air chased us back home, and that one battleship was sunk at the very end by a amalgamation of torpedoes. So we've lost our first ever dreadnought just before it got back to base, sadly. But we did sink an enemy battle cruiser and heavily damage one of their battleships. Thankfully, this is one of our old battleships that got hit. One that was least capable of dealing with air, but it was hit by a torpedo anyway. They lost a ton of aircraft. We didn't lose any. We lost 10 destroyers and a heavy cruiser. They've lost a battle cruiser, 5 destroyers, a corvette, the land target that we went after to begin with, and a submarine. They came out of this with very close points to us, but we still came out of this on the up and up, especially since we got the bombardment target. This was a pretty brutal battle for us. Very... not the greatest. It was a marginal victory. It was still a victory, though. The Battle of Bari. Kaiser's dismayed over our heavy losses and irreplaceable warships. Your reputation suffers. Well, fuck you, bitch. I think that's because of us still being cautious, but I don't really know. Have we never lost a battleship before? I think we've lost some pre-dreads at some point. Maybe not. Whatever. Corvette sank enemy submarine. Corvette sank enemy submarine. Destroyers are being sunk by mines. We are now blockading the enemy again, gaining VPs for that. We still have vastly more VPs than the enemies do. Oh man, this is just crazy. Our monthly balance for repairs is fucking insane right now. We gotta halt construction on this destroyer. I'd love to just finish these, right? Because a lot of them are gonna finish. Let's halt on what we can. That's not going to finish next turn. This is going to go into a very negative monthly balance, though, in a moment. With a bunch of submarines about to finish next turn and a bunch of these destroyers, I feel like we'll end up fine for money. Maybe not. These rebuilds are probably costing quite a bit as well. Although if we halt construction, the cost is honestly still there for these ones. Maybe just because it's a rebuild and they're on, like, active force. So we don't want to do that. Just halting these is really the best thing. But again, they're so close to finishing, so I don't know if I actually want to do this. We could pause a bunch of submarines that are not close to finishing to get that way down. Okay, now it's positive. Let's see what else we can resume safely. That's decent. Can we get a little bit more out? Yeah, a little bit more. Let's say that we could get going. Oh man, we're close to war with Japan at this point. Great Britain is now starting to match my capable ships here. My capable ships are starting to go down quite a bit. We've won every single battle we've had so far, but that last one was definitely the most damaging to us. We're going to be pretty reliant on Great Britain soon for their assistance. And if Japan joins the war, those VPs might get reset. We're about to have submarines, though, so that's another little angle we'll be able to fight the Japanese on. Seeing as the Japs are still at war with the Americans and the French, I think we are fine in that regard. The French are also here, so if the Japs came over here to fight, they'd have to deal with us. But I don't think they would come over here to fight. At least ideally, they wouldn't. There's the Donau that got hit. Let's see if we can give him something. A captain, not a brilliant captain for something like this, no. Let's just say an average one. And we still need more. A light cruiser. Man, I'm gonna need some great reconstruction after this is done. I am tearing apart their fleet tonnage, but they're making some pretty good work of mine. Their amount of planes is really brutal, honestly. My airships are great and all, but their planes are brutalizing me, quite frankly. This other airbase has finished expanding. I guess we could keep expanding it. Manage the air groups there. Add an air unit. Let's just add 20 fighters. There you go. The rest of these are okay. Yep, they have full aircraft. They haven't really lost anything. We can see their score. I don't really know what this score is, like KDR. I don't know. And the maintenance is pretty high, but a lot of these are still experts because we have elite pilots. Hard to do during war, but meh. We have an unexpected battle, which is a cruiser action in support of land combat. We can't add anything. We only have 2 light cruisers and a heavy cruiser. We don't know what they have. We have some destroyers. It's a pretty tiny fight. Unfortunately, the Brits are not here to help us or anything. Attack enemy ships. Yeah, just attack enemy ships in general. I don't know how my planes are even going to make it out over here. This is well beyond that region. I miss having the scouting groups. I haven't had scouting groups since I've had battle cruisers. 50 night cap, night search, max cap. Although I don't really know what we're going to be doing out here. We just have some light fucking cruisers and some heavy cruisers, and we're going southeast. Okay. In support of land combat, which makes this, I guess, pretty important, but I don't... Okay. It's just a cruiser action for us. We see their forces. Let's do -2 on either of these, but we don't have a heck of a lot, so let's see what we can do. It seems to me like they have way more ships here than I do. They have so many ships here. It's kind of insane. I have nowhere near enough ships to deal with this. I don't know how they have this many ships. Turn around, and we're heading somewhere safe. They have an entire cruiser force swarming with destroyers. My fleet is kind of crippled to the point where I can't even really deal with this. The best thing I can do is try to not die. Airship recon is here. It's great. They do have the ability to bomb, but I doubt that they will actually bomb. We're not actually trying to fight. So let's go ahead and max your speed out. Max -2. That's 33 knots on each. The destroyers might not even be able to keep up with that. They're just charging us down right now because they kind of know that they can. We just have to outrun them. They get 800 VPs if we say no to this and we get another battle. So if we can at least outrun them and go hide in port, even if they, I don't know, destroy something like the airship base, I don't think that will really be as big of a deal as letting them blow up all these ships. Okay, so I ran by the port and they're all just coming here towards the port where they can't technically enter, but they are here. And I gave a flotilla order attack, but I don't even know if that's wise. No, I don't think that's wise like this. You gotta remember with the way ports work, they can't actually get over here. There's some range here where it just tells them, no, go away. So if we stay in this area, we'll be safe. And we stay far enough away, the fact that we have bigger guns might be helpful. Okay, they're getting closer and closer, so I don't really know where the edge of that range is, but I'm going to try to utilize it. They're just trying to shoot at us, and so they're actually dealing some damage here to my sole heavy cruiser, unfortunately. We ended up losing 2 corvettes. Nothing really happened there. Otherwise, they lost a destroyer, so they sank, I guess, a little bit more than we did. They got a little bit more points than we did. They lost some aircraft. They did a lot of bombing, which was unfortunate, but there was really no way we could respond. This is their first marginal victory. They got only a tiny bit more VP than we did, which isn't too bad, all in all. 12 submarines are done, so we finally have some submarines to do something with, I guess. We're still winning. 6 destroyers have been commissioned. Good, because we've been losing some. Corvette sank an enemy submarine mine layer. Destroyer sank an enemy coastal submarine. Patrol aircraft sank an enemy submarine. A light cruiser of ours has been sunk by a mine. And we gained 270 for the blockade of an enemy. Honestly, I need this war to end, like, right now. This is fucking insane that this is still going. The Brits are showing up with more and more stuff, but the AI don't actually do a whole lot. I have a lot of money available right now, so we could probably resume all this construction. What's likely happened is a lot of our Repairs have finished. Dude, we're gonna have to do so much rebuilding after this war is done. But we have a full episode, so I think I'll end this one right here. So for now, hope you guys are enjoying this chaos. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.